In this tutorial, we will cover how to create a dataset. Wrapping your data in a dataset is a good way to ensure proper and consistent input into a workflow. A dataset also allows you to deal with issues in your data before loading it into a workflow, and to make changes to the data schema if need be. Datasets are project-specific and do not make changes to the underlying data. To create a dataset, first we need to enter into the project that we want to create the dataset for. In this case, we will use the example project which we created in a previous tutorial. Next, we need to go to the Datasets tab next to the Overview. Here we can now use the Create button in the top right-hand side of the page. Now we select the type of file which we want the dataset to be about. Now we can select the path using the option in the top right. By clicking the Browse here, it will take us to our file system, and we can then select the directory and then the file which we want to be in our dataset. Next, we can name our dataset. In addition to naming a dataset, we can also add a category and a description to provide additional detail for other people. Another option in this first pane is to change the delimiter, since not all CSVs use the comma. However, the comma is the default option for the delimiter, so in this case we don't need to put anything here. We can also select whether our data has a header row or not. If we are unsure, we can set it to false first and then change this later. We can also change the type of mode. We have permissive, drop malformed, and fail fast. In this case, we don't want to select any and simply want to use the default mode. Next, in the bottom left, we need to update our sample data in Schema. This will parse through the data and show a sample of the data in addition to the schema which it auto detects. Here it is detected these 10 columns, which it is named C0 through C9. These are the default names for a column if there is no header row. However, we can see that there is a header row in our data. To make changes, we can simply set the option for a header row to true, and then now update our sample data in Schema again. Now we can see that in the sample data that each column has the correct name. In the Schema, we can check that each column has the correct name, change names if necessary, and check the data type if one has been selected incorrectly. In this case, we want all of our columns to be doubles, so we can reset them in the data type dropdown. For ML modeling, we can also change the type here in the schema under the ML type. Here there are numeric, text, and categorical. Depending on the type of modeling that you might be doing in the future, you may want to review and change these. Now we can click Save at the top, and our dataset will now show up in the Datasets tab. We can now use the Dataset Structured node to load this data in instead of the Read CSV. If we want to make changes, here on the right, we can use the green Edit button. This will allow us to view our sample data again and to make any changes to the schema that we want. We can then hit Save again, and now our schema will be changed in all of the workflows that use this dataset. Thank you for listening.